Good morning, everyone. The County Commission meeting for February 15, 2018 is now in session. If you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Howdy morning, and we have a hearing this morning at 9:45, but we'll take it in the order it appears on the agenda, assuming it's after 9:45. With us today is my fellow Commissioner Jeff Benton, and Commissioner Lewis could not be with us this morning. She had a commitment, I believe, with CCAO that she had to honor. With that, our clerk, Sarah DeNova, and our administrator, Mike Fromer, let's begin.
Resolution number 18-150, in the matter of approving the electronic record of the proceeding from regular meeting held February 12, 2018.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-150. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We have no public or elected comment this morning. Resolution number 18-151, in the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants and batch number CMA PR 0214.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-151. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-152, in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-152. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-153, in the matter of granting the annexation petition from agent for the petitioner, Jackson B. Reynolds III, requesting the annexation of 0.280 acres of land in Concord Township to the village of Shawnee Hills.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-153. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-154, in the matter of approving a permit for the use of Delaware County facilities.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Is there going to be any discussion on that, or I guess not?
I don't believe so.
John Melvin's not here, but unrelated to this, but kind of related. Are we, the temperature in the building, are we maintaining it at 72? Or if the empty building, at some point, should we bring the temperature down a little bit? Just a question. I think it's worth asking, so would you look into that? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-154. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-155, in the matter of accepting a grant from the Columbus Foundation from the John E. Payton Family Foundation for the Delaware County Dog Shelter.
So moved.
Second. Discussion.
Good morning, Brian Gallagher, Director of Safety and Security. This is a grant that we have received in the past from the Columbus Foundation. It's for the treatment and care of dogs out at the shelter.
This is an annual grant we've been getting for some time.
Yes, sir. It's been annual, but it's been, sometimes early, sometimes later. So, it's continued on.
And they provide the funding helps provide for veterinary services.
Yes, sir.
For the
yes, sir. It's for like whenever we've had dogs that may have a long-term illness, so like heartworm, something to where it's a little more expensive to nurse them back to health and then get them with a family.
Yeah. Well, it's very generous of the foundation. I'm sure there's a benefactor behind the foundation that designated this, but again, appreciate the support.
Yes, sir.
I agree 100% with Commissioner Benton's comments, and it's great that the foundation, this family, is willing to do this. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-155. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Resolution number 18-156, in the matter of approving the Child Placement Services contract and addendum between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, the Delaware County Department of Job and Family Services, and child placement provider, the Village Network.
So moved.
Second. Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Stephen Socorro with Job and Family Services. I am here to ask your permission to approve a contract with the Village Network, which is a residential treatment and a foster care provider for at-risk youth in our custody. Right now we have the rationale said 5 when child moved last week, so now we only have 4 children there, but we are still asking for the 2018 contract to move forward with within a maximum of $155,000 annually. Now that's an ebb and flow because obviously a child moved last week, so we don't know when we're going to get children in and out of our custody. But this, the Village Network has really been a great contract for us They really help us specifically with teenagers and more at-risk youth. And they're a great placement, and they've done a fantastic job for us in the past, and we hope to continue that contract in the future.
Is this the dollar amount that we budgeted for?
Yes, sir.
And we've used this firm or this
Yes, sir. We've
network for quite a
used
while.
them for years now. Since I've been with the agency for 3 years, I know we've been with the Village Network, and they do a lot of our transportation. They do a lot of great things with the kiddos. Like I said, most of these are teenagers, and they will bring them down here for independent living skills, work with the teens on hygiene, checking accounts, just basic, and food prep. I don't know if you guys were there. I think Commissioner Lewis was at when they made the food for them, for people in the community. So they've been a great help for our kiddos and a solid partner with us for the last couple of years. So.
Vote on motion 18-156. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners. Have a good day.
Thanks, Steve.
Resolution number 18-157, in the matter of waiving the Delaware County portion of tipping fees at the solid waste transfer station to support the 2018 litter control campaigns.
So moved.
Second, discussion?
Jennifer Way Young, Keep Delaware County Beautiful, Delaware General Health District. Every year, COC, Central Ohio Contractors, provides reduced price and free fee waivers for our litter cleanup activities. And by the Delaware commissioners waiving their portion of fee waivers, we take those waivers and we distribute them or make them available to our local political subdivisions to help them reduce illegal dumping in their communities.
We've been doing this for a number of years, haven't we?
Many, as long as I've been at the health district.
Okay.
It's because of a lot of our communities going curbside, and those contracts with the communities have bulk item pickup. We're seeing less use of them, but there's still some of our rural communities that we're hoping to get them on board and hoping that they'll join in.
We have some protocols in place, I'm sure, to ensure that the waivers are being used for the purposes intended. Okay. With that, vote.
Vote on motion 18-157. Mr. Merrill? Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Resolution number 18-158, in the matter of approving the sanitary subdividers agreement for courtyards at South Section Line.
So moved.
Second, discussion?
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag with the Regional Sewer District. This is a revised subdividers agreement to allow us to make some improvements to the pump station while at the same time allowing the developer to continue to build their homes at the same time. So we're looking for your approval on this.
Questions, discussion?
Vote on motion 18-158. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
The next item, number 12, we'll be waiting on.
Yeah, I'll make a comment on that. I was brought up today, had a question about it at 9:27, 9:28 that couldn't get answered in a couple of minutes before I was here 2 minutes late. And we will be going to recess for an afternoon session. So hopefully, theoretically, we can get that answer by then. And if not, I guess we can table it. But it's an opportunity for us to get the answer to that question that really we couldn't get in 2 minutes. So with that, move forward.
Resolution number 18-159, in the matter of rebidding the project known as 2018-19 mowing contract south of US 36.
So moved.
Second, discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-159. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-160, in the matter of awarding a bid and approving a contract for the project known as DEL-CR124-02-.75 Home Road Tree Lake Boulevard traffic signal.
So moved.
Second, discussion. I think Mr. Boston's going to comment on this one.
Deep in thought. The Miller Cable Company is the low bidder for this project of $279,000. We're recommending an award to them.
Is that about what you were expecting?
Yeah, it's actually below our estimates.
Okay.
With that, if there's no other questions or comments, vote.
Vote on motion 18-160. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
We'll keep moving along. We'll pass 15 and go right to 16. Resolution number 18-161, In the matter of approving a supplemental appropriation, transfer of appropriation, and transfer of funds.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Cy Kelly, Deputy Administrator. The supplemental appropriations and the transfer of funds is needed to transfer the additional Medicaid sales tax transitional funding from the state, and the transfer of appropriations is needed to cover the visiting judge's compensation at municipal court. And I recommend your approval.
Questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-161. Mr. Merrill? Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
With that, we still have a couple of minutes, trusting the clock to be accurate, so why don't we go into administrative?
I have no report
You
today.
got 2 minutes to kill here,
No,
otherwise Commissioner Benton's going to have to kill you.
Yeah, I'll let you guys.
Wait, then Commissioner Benton.
We've got a Central Ohio Youth Center meeting this afternoon, board meeting. Organization is doing well. We are reducing our population there, the youth that we send there, which is good from a number of standpoints, financially, as well as I think the care they can get elsewhere is more targeted. Having an OSU extension luncheon today. The farm community gets us together once a year, and you know, we're very proud of our farm ag community, and they do great work, and it's always good to catch up with Rob and his team. The Bishop Backers Community Day is Saturday. Ohio Wesleyan partners with the Delaware community and puts on a number of events and sporting events and activities and so on. It's all day Saturday. It's a fun day. And Commissioner Merrill's going to or maybe?
Well,
Mr.
Mr. Frommer volunteered to stand in my stead.
Oh, how about that?
If they'll let an Ohio Northern person be at Bishop Backer Day, but
That's true. Yeah.
I think your son knows a couple of the players on the team or
Yeah,
something, so
yeah.
it seemed like a good.
If Commissioner Lewis was here, I would mention that Ohio State is number 8 in the national basketball poll, and that Oklahoma is number 23 and falling, and even that state up north is ahead of Oklahoma. But since Commissioner Lewis is not here, I won't mention it. And that's all I got.
And again, Mike Frommer, I want to thank you for attending Saturday. I appreciate it very much. And I should mention that to Jackie tonight. Okay. DK, we had a meeting Tuesday. I thought we really haven't talked about it after the meeting, but I thought we had a good result.
Yeah.
A result that served the best interest of everybody involved, and so it was an excellent meeting. With that, we do have a meeting tonight. We're a joint meeting with the city, which I think we did this about 2.5 years ago, and it'll be a public meeting. It'll be at the Delaware City location, and I believe that starts at 7 o'clock. And I really don't have anything else, and it's now past 9:45. So.
Resolution number 18-162. Delaware County Board of Commissioners public hearing to consider the approval and adoption of amendments to the subdivision regulations of Delaware County, Ohio, pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code Section 711.10, 711.132, and 711.133.
So moved.
Second. Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 18-162. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-163, in the matter of approving for a specific occurrence a suspension of Rule 3, speaker registration, Rule 4, limitations, and Rule 7, public comment procedure from the rules governing public comment before the Board of County Commissioners of Delaware County, Ohio.
So moved.
Second. Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 18-163. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye. With that, we'll begin the hearing. So if you'll introduce yourself and
Scott Sanders, Director of the Delaware County Regional Planning Commission. I know that the changes were distributed. I don't know what you have in front of you, but I didn't bring anything new with me. But we do this rarely enough that I hate to read, but I just have a few paragraphs just to
walk through
explain why
the
we're here.
changes of substance. So
Sure. I will. Yeah, I will. I'll get to that. How about that? So the process for amending county subdivision regulations is defined in the Ohio Revised Code. Of course, we prepare a draft in consultation with various county entities, and then in consultation also with the private sector. Those amendments go through a public hearing with proper notice at the Regional Planning Commission, which occurred in November. They're then forwarded to the Board of Commissioners for your own notice and public hearing, which is where we are today. Amendments are effective after approval by the Commissioners, and RPC will, or staff, I will record the full set of regulations through the Recorder's Office through that process. So the amendments are of a technical and process nature. First, for a process, we're allowing additional time to gain the signatures of the county engineer and the sanitary engineer before presentation to the Regional Planning Commission. For about 11 years, we've required all those signatures at the deadline, which causes the plats to just kind of sit in our office for 3 or 4 weeks. There's a need to put together some financial agreements and other agreements that would add some flexibility if we allowed those to happen during the first couple weeks of the month. So as long as the plat is ready for approval at the typical deadline at the beginning of each month, then those additional 2 weeks will allow for those signatures before the plat comes over to our office, and then it's on the RPC approval or RPC agenda. The second set of amendments, we're requiring that all agencies review subdivision plats at the recordable size. For several decades, the size that plats are recorded are 14 by 17. Basically, the printable area is 11 by 17. Oddly enough, for the same period of time, the copy that agencies have reviewed and signed is twice that size, and you've seen those plats, and they're usually 22 by 34. We've noticed, particularly in recent years, with additional notes being added and additional information that everybody wants on the plats, the process of reducing those plats, which is done by the applicant after approval, can result in inconsistencies and unintended errors. Also causes difficulty in ensuring that the elements on the plat are clearly readable, because we all review them this big and they get shrunk down 50%. So we've attempted a certain amount of voluntary compliance by asking that notes be changed to a more readable size. We've had limited success, and people say, well, if it's not in your regs, we don't want to do it. So that's what we're trying to do is put these changes so they're consistent among all the different agencies and what they need to review. And they're also consistent with the engineering and conveyance standards. And we did include consultation, I think it was all the way back to April now, with a meeting with the auditor, the auditor's GIS office, county engineer staff, including the engineer's map department, and county recorder and that staff as well. And then we've, along the way, consulted with private firms as well. So just one of the attachments had a kind of marked up. It's really just one section that's being changed. We're asking for an additional table put on the front page. This is just for everybody's convenience, that has the number of buildable lots, the number of other lots, the amount of open space. We track all that information, and it's hard to pick that out when it's on the second or third page and it's not in table form. We've deleted some redundancies that were noted in here a couple times. We've brought more conformance to the way the floodplain language is worded with the right reference to the panel, suffix number, the community number, and the map date. Again, we specified the size. We've specified the type of material. You probably noticed as you've signed, some are really thin and you can see through them, and some are thicker. So we're saying a 4 mil double matte Mylar, and that is the copy that sits in a drawer over at the recorder's office. Although they scan one, and that's what a lot of people look at on the website, there is one that sits in a drawer, and it's better to have a better material than just paper. And then we, just to be specific, we've specified black ink so that there's no, sometimes they'll do a map in a color, or they'll do a photograph with some black, gray backgrounds, so we don't want to see that, so that it can be produced well. And then we've noted minimum letter size, and that's kind of the biggie, because that's what's very difficult to read. Some of these notes get really tiny when they get shrunk down 50%. And then as a way to prevent the front page being too clouded with too much information, we're saying just put all those notes that run down the side, put those on a second page so that everybody knows where those are each time. And that's really the changes, other than the date of the signatures of the other agencies, or really just the two agencies, sanitary and county engineer. Those are the only substantive changes.
No, not really. Again, applaud the effort to make it easier, more consistent, more, legible, et cetera. I think that makes sense for everybody. So, changes make sense.
Just a couple procedural things, just so we're all on the same page. If somebody's already in process on this, are these rules going to apply to all new ones, or how's that?
Well, obviously, if they've already gotten some signatures, we wouldn't make them start over. And there will probably be a level of, or a period of several months where we've already reviewed draft plats, which is something that we're strongly recommending, and actually we've been requiring for a while, where we're, I don't know a hard and fast rule to say this is the date that all new plats have to meet this standard, because we want to allow some flexibility, because we know there's an expense to totally redo what they've already created. We're obviously going to be pushing toward the larger type, the understanding that it's all going to be reduced, which it has been anyway. So we've had some that have already come in and said, hey, we want to try this. That allowed us to make some adjustments here, because some of the plats have been pushing. Obviously, there's going to be more pages once you make all the text bigger and add that second page for notes. But I think they've gone to the largest minimum type instead of the smallest minimum type that we note. And that, I think, generated more pages than is necessary. So there will be some growing pains, but we're going to try to be flexible in the first few months.
Ultimately, we'll enforce these rules and going forward once you get through the. Okay. Anyone else want to speak in favor of these amendments?
Morning. Chris Boserman, County Engineer. I just wanted to say Scott has done a good job of, I think, capturing the issues that we're trying to correct, and he's done a great job of coordinating that with our agency and I believe the other agencies. So I'm in support of the changes.
Anyone else who wants to speak in favor? Anyone here who wants to speak in opposition to these recommended changes? With that, do you have any additional questions or comments? Nor do I, so we need to close the hearing.
Resolution number 18-164, in the matter of closing the Delaware County Board of Commissioners public hearing to consider the approval and adoption of amendments to the subdivision regulations of Delaware County, Ohio, pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code sections 711.10, 711.132, and 7.11.133.
So moved.
Second. Any additional discussion? I think this is a good thing for everyone. It makes it more efficient, and I think once we ultimately get through those are already in progress, it should make it much more efficient and eliminate some of the misunderstandings that inevitably occur. Miscommunication may be a better word. With that, vote.
Vote on motion 18-164. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye. With that, I don't believe we have anything else.
But we got to actually approve.
My apologies. You are correct.
I was closing the hearing.
Resolution number 18-165, in the matter of approving and adopting amendments to the subdivision regulations of Delaware County, Ohio, pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code, section 711.10, 711.132, and 711.133.
So moved.
Second. Additional discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-165. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
With that, I don't believe we have any other business to bring before us at this time, so we will recess until 2 o'clock this afternoon. The Delaware County meeting for February 15th, 2018, we recessed until 2 o'clock. It is now 2:02, so let's begin. I believe we have an order of business.
Yes. Resolution number 18-166. Approving the Fifth Amendment to the amended and restated intergovernmental cooperation agreement with Concord Iota Community Authority.
So moved. Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Yeah, Commissioners, this Fifth Amendment was to adjust the service area boundaries. When we were able to update the subdividers agreement for the Tartan Fields facility, and working with the developer there, we identified an overlapping condition with the the Tartan Field service area in the lower Scioto. So this amendment kind of clarifies those boundary areas, and they're separate. We approved the commissioners approved the Tartan Field subdividers agreement at the end of December. So this was just that second action. So
basically, we're moving a portion of the area served by the community authority in Lower Scioto to the Tartan area.
yeah, it was an overlapping situation where that those agreements were developed separately. So
it doesn't guarantee there'll be service there, but should there be service, that would be the source of the service.
yeah, another change in Lower Scioto in that service area by reducing some of the areas that were overlapping. There was a change where, if approved by the commissioners, some development in Lower Scioto could connect to Tartan Fields in the future.
Any questions?
No.
Sounds good.
Vote?
Vote on motion 18-166. Sorry, Mrs. Lewis is now here. Mrs. Lewis? Aye. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
With that, I believe we have need for executive session. So,
Resolution number 18-167, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of compensation of a public employee or public official.
So move.
Second.
motion made and seconded. Discussion. Vote?
Vote on motion 18-167. Commissioner Merrill?
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis?
Aye.
Commissioner Benton?
Aye.
With that, we are now in executive session.
Very good.
Resolution number 18-168, in the matter of adjourning out of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second. Vote?
Vote on motion 18-168. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
If there is no other business before us, we are adjourned.
Go.
7 o'clock for the city.